Welcome to this meditation, which is all about creating sacred space. In an ideal world, of course, we would have a wonderful physical space. We would have the freedom physically within our own homes to have space that's for ourselves. We'd have the right balance between our mind, our emotions, and our physicality to mean that we had the right space in all of those areas, that we could focus within and of our emotions when we needed to, that we could focus within and of our mind when we needed to, and that we could easily move out of those places when we needed to focus on something else. The reality of life, the reality of human nature as well, also means though that we don't all have that space and that time for ourselves. Sometimes even when we are in a space that is our own physical space, that can be interrupted. It can be interrupted by family members knocking on the door, by someone poking their head around to see if you want a cup of tea. It can be interrupted by children and also by pets. But sometimes we just need to know and to feel that we do have space for ourselves. And if we can't find that physically within our environment, and if we find it difficult to create boundaries, tangible boundaries within other people, so that we have a respect for their space, on the understanding that they have a respect for our space. Well, in an ideal world, that would be the case, but it doesn't always quite work that way. Some people simply don't understand the concept of boundaries and space. But there are moments in aspects of our lives, in times of our lives, where we simply need to have that space for ourselves. So this visualization can support you and can help you to create those boundaries, to create that space within your own energy, which will support you in not necessarily creating space in your physical environment, although sometimes it can lead on to that, but it may help to support and enable you feeling as though you do have a space, you do have mental space, you do have emotional space, you do have energetic space, and it can support you in just energetically almost erecting some gentle boundaries to protect and support your energy and the space that you need to think, to be, to process and to allow. So just allow yourself to relax. As always with any work we do, if you can find a space while you're doing this visualization so that you are uninterrupted for a small amount of time, that's always going to be helpful. And again, with a visualization, with any meditation, if you're able to be upright, that's great. If you can't, then don't worry, but don't do a visualization, particularly a visualization, if you're feeling really sleepy, because as you move into that relaxed state, if you are lying down, the reality, the likelihood is that you'll probably go into a sleep state, so you won't actually achieve the benefit in the way that you need to. So just allow yourself to relax by taking a nice couple of deep breaths. And really expel those breaths as you breathe out. And we're going to take a nice long breath in. We're going to hold it for 2 beats, and then we're going to take a nice long breath out. Hold it. Hold the out breath out. Breathe in. hold it and out. And with that, you should start to feel as though your physicality, your body, feels a bit more relaxed. You can consciously relax your physical body by lifting your shoulders up and dropping them down as well. And that will really help to just start to, any tension that you're holding there, that will just start to release it. One more deep breath in. And then just allow your breath to actually find its own pattern. And just allow yourself to be aware of that pattern for a few moments. If you're finding that your breathing is a little bit erratic, then just allow yourself to take another couple of nice deep breaths. Before allowing it once again. To have that sense of rhythm. And it's just important just to note as we start that when we think about boundaries, we don't have to think about hard-edged boundaries. They can be soft, they can be flexible, they can be boundaries that ebb and boundaries that flow. As long as they're giving us the particular space, be it energetic or physical or emotional or mental or spiritual, that we need at any given moment in time. As you're breathing, I want you to be aware of actually coming into your body. So if you're usually very active mentally, I want you to be aware of dropping your focus, almost allowing your mind to come down from up here and move down, deeper into the body. Perhaps into the heart chakra, or just above it, just below it. But feel all of your energy come together in the body. So you're enabling that sense of connectedness within yourself. And the first thing that I want you to do and to be aware of is, if you think about space, what colour represents space to you. Just allow that colour to come into your mind, acknowledge it. And we're going to come back and work with it in a moment. First of all, I just want to do some work with our breath and with our awareness. So I want you to be aware of your aura, just almost like the ready brick glow aspect of it. And with each breath, I want you to imagine that as you breathe out, you're pushing it out. As you breathe in, it's drawing closer to the body. So that with each breath, it has an ebb and a flow. It has an extension and a contraction. Just be aware of how it feels, how easy it is, how hard it is, how tangible it is. And then I want us to take our awareness to our head area. We've got 3 main energy centers in terms of the way that our energy emits frequency and emits energy. We've got our head, which is linked to our thoughts, our brain, our mental aspect of being. We've got our heart, which is linked to our emotions. And we've got our hara, which is linked to our soul. And the hara is just below our belly button, just above the sacral chakra. And right in the center of our abdomen. I just want you to take your awareness in stages to your mind, your heart, and your hara. And I want you to do the same exercise that you did with your aura. So as you're breathing, just imagine that you're pushing that energy from your headspace out and then letting it contract. Do that for 2 or 3 goes, then move down to your heart. Do the same thing with your heart space, and then the same thing with your hara. Ready? If you haven't already, then move from your head to your heart space. And if you haven't moved down to your hara, then move down to your hara now. Remember, with each breath, you're just allowing the expansion of the energy around that area of the body, and then the contraction. As you're breathing, there's a nice expanse. And then a nice contraction. And just note how tangible each of those areas were. Were they all the same? Was some more tangible than another? Were there some that you couldn't feel connecting to at all, where you weren't able to expand the energy at all? If so, just be aware that they're the ones where you might have a little bit more difficulty exerting an aspect of boundary. So now, as we move back to the colour that you thought about, that came to you when we talked about the representation of space. And I want you to allow that colour to come to mind now. And as that colour comes to mind, I want you to be aware of 3 different aspects to it. I want you to be aware of the deepest, darkest shade of that colour. I want you to be aware of the densest shade of that colour. So the most opaque aspect of it. And then also the most translucent aspect of it. So if you were thinking of the colour lilac, you might have a really strong sense of almost purple for the deepest, darkest aspect of it. The densest aspect might be like a lavender flower. The most translucent aspect might be like a light amethyst crystal where you can see all the way through it. It's almost just whispery and wispy. So as you allow that colour that relates to space for you, as you allow that into your awareness, just think of those 3 different aspects. And we're going to work with the aura first. So I want you to see and feel and know that your energy and your aura is full of that colour. You don't need to do anything. All of the colours of the universe, of the light spectrum, are already present within your energy. We just have to bring our awareness to them. And I just want you to be aware of where you want your energy to be. What space do you need within your own energy to feel as though you have space, freedom, lightness of being, lightness of movement, expression? What space do you need within your own energy so that you don't feel hemmed in, so that you don't feel restrained or constricted or blocked or limited? And as you're breathing, I want you to imagine that lilac breathing out, if it's lilac, or blue if it's blue, whatever colour you've imagined, imagine it breathing out. So you're feeling the expanse of space within your aura and at the outer edges of your aura and just around the outside of your aura, taking your own energy wider and larger until you reach the right aspect of space that feels comfortable and right for you in this moment. And when you're there, I want you to mark it with that deepest, darkest colour. So almost as though you've got that ready brick glow around an aura, I want you to just imagine that that outer aspect of your space, the space that you've just created within your own energy, the outer aspect of it is marked by that deepest, darkest colour. And that's your boundary. And then in from that line, from that mark, from that boundary, for about an inch or 2 inches, or however feels right for you, I want you to visualise or know that you have the most opaque shade of your colour. And then from that all the way in to your physical body, to the core of who you are, is the lightest, most translucent aspect of that colour. And I want you just to explore this energy, this space for a moment. That lightest aspect, the most translucent of that colour, is your freedom, it's your space. As you move into the most opaque colour, you start to feel and be aware of where you connect with the outside world. And there's some flexibility in that movement. So if something's important when you have that aspect of space around you, if there's something that occurs, then know that there's a little bit of ebb, there's a little bit of flow within your energy, that you're not shutting anything or anybody out. You're allowing that little bit of ebb and flow within your own energy. And then you've got that boundary, that darkest, deepest aspect, which is just there as a marker, silently, subconsciously. It's there to let you know that your space is sacred, and to let others know and the universe know that your space is sacred. And I want you to take a real note of where in your energy this boundary is, so that just in an instant you can take your awareness there and you can create and be present in this sacred space that you visualized, that you have created for yourself, whether you're on a train, on a bus, whether you're at home, whether you are sitting at the kitchen table. You can just take your awareness to this colour, to this marker within your energy, and you know that you have all of that space, and it's yours, and it's sacred. And this is your personal, energetic, sacred space. And I just want you now to bring your awareness back to the present moment. So just allow yourself to be aware of your breathing and of your breath. And come back to this present moment, feeling yourself grounded, feeling yourself alert and present. And as you breathe in this present moment with your eyes opening now, be aware of that expanse of your energy that's still there. So even though you might be in a room with articles and physical things around you, be aware of that expanse of space, energetic space. It's your sacred space. And then when you have some time, I'd like you to do the same exercise again, and you might use the same colour, or there might be a different colour that comes to mind for you. I want you to do that same exercise with your head space, the energy around your head. I want you to do the same exercise again around your heart space, so your emotional space, and creating some mental space and some emotional space is about actually creating space and boundaries for you within your own thoughts, within your own emotions, which can also put those gentle boundaries in place to stop you being triggered at highly emotive times. And they can also support the aspect of self-sabotage, i.e. not self-sabotaging mentally in terms of beliefs. So I want you to do those two exercises, and then also think about your hara. So that's that connection, that energy of the soul. So when you really wanted to connect into your soul energy, what I would like you to do is I'd like you to do this exercise again, imagining, visualizing that you've got that space around your abdomen, which is the sacred space for your soul energy. And then just take your awareness into that space when you want to connect into your soul energy. Take your time, don't rush with any of the exercises. It's why we're not doing them all today, because the video would be too long. But you have the process. So it's about taking your awareness to that place. So mentally, within your mind, your head, within your heart space, emotionally, or to your hara for that soul energy. Where do you want to feel that expanse of freedom, that expanse of space? And then just breathe out and breathe in, gently expanding as you breathe until you feel as though that space, that energy is right for you. Then you have that solid, darker boundary. You have that little bit of flex, which is the darker, more opaque colour. And then you have the lightest aspect, which is just your own space, which nothing else comes into, nothing else intrudes into unless you let it. So see how you get on. Any questions, as with anything, just let me know and I'm happy to try and help and answer.